How are you, everybody who is watching this fantastic video? I'm very happy to have you today, and I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you into this fantastic program. My name is Olenjolai Mokotayailo Single. Simply just call me Sir Olenjolai. I'm a national teacher who is going to teach you physics today, and I'm also responsible to teach you other science subjects such as chemistry and basic mathematics. I'm from Tanzania. I'm a Tanzanian, and I also this is our national flag. I'm very happy to have you, and I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you into this fantastic program. So firstly, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you into Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. Simultaneously, I would like also take this opportunity to welcome you into one of our YouTube channels that's called Tanzania Online O-Level Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. Wonderful. I know you have so many questions, but I know also you have so many challenges, especially in the process of learning science subjects and the basic mathematics. So I would like to ask you, to pay attention on what I've prepared for you, because I know that this piece of information is going to take you from one step to another step. So firstly, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you once again into this program. And you have so many questions. One of the questions is about purpose. According to the book of Proverbs chapter 19, verse 18, where the Bible says that where there is no vision, people perish. And okay, where there is no vision, people perish. So it means that if you don't have vision in Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai, or is just an abbreviation called it also, so it means that ourselves we are going to perish, and even to also is going to perish, and we're not ready for that. So the question you have in your mind, what are we doing? That's a very important question. It's wonderful. Okay, so this is the assignment that we have. We have an assignment to train, incubate, mentor, and even teaching ordinary secondary students on how they can extract knowledge, understanding, and wisdom from physics, chemistry, and basic mathematics, and combine it with knowledge, understanding, and wisdom that we are teaching them to extract it from the Holy Word, or from the Bible, from the Holy Bible, in order to solve real life problems. So that the main objective and that the focus of this program. So wonderfully enough, in order to achieve it, or the main objective of this also is actually that it will teach our students on how they can think differently and how they can solve real life problems for the rest of their life. So that's what you have to expect it, and you have to be together, and you have to get connected in order to take you from one step to another step. Okay, so stay tuned. We are focusing on the serious students. We are very serious, and we believe that even our students also are very serious for this program. So again, I would like to take this opportunity to just share with you a few steps that you have to take on registrations to OSO. To OSO is the abbreviations of Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. The first step, we ask you to create or open a new email, example Yahoo or Gmail, if you don't have any of email. But in case that you have either Yahoo or a Gmail, then you have to skip the first step, just go to the second step. Okay, the second step, we ask you to sign in YouTube by the email, right? So sign in YouTube by using your email that you've created. And the third step, we ask you to search to OSO, but don't write to OSO because it's not existing there, but just write this our official YouTube channel that called Tanzania Online O-Level Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. And then there you are. You're already in the schools, and you have more than 4 departments. One department is called Departments of Physics, Departments of Basic Mathematics, Departments of Chemistry, and Departments of Kingdom of Heaven. So the second step, once you arrive, I mean that you are in the school, we ask you first of all to click the buttons which has been written at the bottom, at the right hand side, at the bottom of right hand side. Click the buttons written subscribe, And once you click it, the text will change into subscribing, and then the icon of the bell will appear. Click these icons once, and then you will see 3 options. Just to choose one option, which is returns all. Then, after you accomplish the first step, then you're already registered in Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School. The good thing is, this is the online school. We don't have any physical to also school. We have only online school. And the good thing is, in normal schools or in normal physical schools, you have to register yourself possibly every term, right? But the good thing or the good news also you have to register yourself only once. You have to do your lifetime registrations. And I want to tell you that these contents can benefit even children of the children of the children of the present and future generation. So once I know that you'll enjoy our contents, the way that we have prepared it, and we've been pondering on this concept, because I'm using the gift of teaching that God has given me. So I want to give you some few instructions once you have been connected, or you have joined, or you have joined with our to also school. There's 50 step we ask you to click the playlist. Why should you click the playlist? Because once you are in the school, you will see a text of home, a text of video, a text of playlist, a text of what? Of community, a text of channel, and then so you see a subtitle of what you're about. So just click the playlist and then search the playlist which is written Physics Form 3. Physics Form 3, you will see all the videos relating to physics for the Form 3 students. Or you can also go to the playlist and then find the playlist which is written as what? Applications of vectors. Then you find all the sessions relating about applications of vectors, and you'll find them sequentially or systematically from the first session to the last session. So we have, as I said, one of the departments that we have is departments of physics, and the subject of the day is physics. And these contents is for the pre-Form 3 or Form 3 students or class 11. And we are in chapter 1 that called Applications of Vectors. And this is session 4, titled as Methods of Adding, Methods of Addition. Okay, methods of adding vectors. Methods of adding vectors. That's the subtitle that we are going to focus today. The previous sessions have been dealing with vector diagram. So methods of adding vectors, using graph. So that's the session 4. So before we start our today's session, I would like to spend a few minutes on quick review. Okay, so let us go into the session. Quick review of of session 3. So session 3 has been titled as vector diagram. Okay, vector diagram. So in this session, we began our focus on dealing with, because we are focusing on how we represent these physical quantities. We began with the focus that scalar quantities, any scalar quantity, right? Scalar quantities, this represents what? So scalar quantities have only what? Have only magnitude. So scalar quantity have only magnitude. They don't have any direction. So because they do have only magnitude, so we say that these scalar quantities, we can add them, subtract them, multiply them, and even divide them without any problem, because there's no any issue of direction, right? But we say for the vector quantities is unlike to scalar quantities. So we say vector quantities have both. What? So vector quantities have both magnitude and what? And direction. Magnitude and direction. That is the vector quantity. So because they have multiple direction, we cannot add them easily. So we have to use what? Graphs. And these graphs, we draw them by using vector diagrams. Okay, vector diagrams. So these graphs, we don't mean that you are going, okay, we are using vector diagrams. So you say a vector diagrams, it can be a line segment like this. So this we call it a tail, a vector tail of a vector. And then this one we call it the head of a vector. And then this one actually representing what? Length of vector or magnitude. Length of vector or magnitude. Okay, so this is the symbol of vector diagram. Alright? So, again, we can have a vector diagram like this one. This is the tail, and this is direction. Okay? So this is direction. And this is tail. Okay? And this is direction. Okay? So that is, so we have, this is Roman A, this is Roman B. So that's what we've been discussing. But we say it again, we discussed about resultant vector. We say that this resultant vector, actually, resultant vector is a summation, so it's the net, is the net vector of other. So we say we define that is a net effect or summations of the two or more vectors acting on a body. Not before only like vectors can make a resultant vector. Only like vectors can make a resultant vector. So that's what we discussed it, and then so we left it homework 3. And homework 3 was just to explain briefly about the first methods of adding vectors using graphs, which we say that head to tail method. So let us go into today's contents. Are you ready for that? In case you missed to go through session 3, you can access session 3, which takes some vector diagrams in our new official YouTube channel called TANZANIA Online O-Level Safety School in Square Bracket Olenjolai. So as we say that, in physics, please copy those steps. In physics, there are 3 basic methods of adding vectors. First one is called head to tail. Head to tail vector or head to tail method. The second method is called triangle method. And the third is called the parallelogram method. Parallelogram method. Parallelogram method. So today, let us focus on the first method. I'll be teaching you the first method and touch a little bit about the second method, but I won't cover it in this session. That also depends on the weight and the contents that you're going to cover. Okay, so the first method is called the head, say with me, head to tail method. Head to tail method. Head to tail method. Head to tail method. So we have this question. What is head to tail method? What is head to tail method? So head to tail method head to tail method is a method used in physics to find the resultant vector by adding or by joining. By joining two or more vectors. By joining two or more vectors, head to tail. By joining two or more vectors, head to tail. So head to tail method is a method used in physics to find resultant vector. So our aim is to find resultant vector or to add vectors. By joining two or more vectors, we can join two or more vectors head to tail. That's the meaning of head to tail. Head to tail method, we are adding 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 vector quantities which are like by joining them head to tail. Right? Later on, so I will give you advantages of head to tail method. So please, I ask you to copy these steps. Okay, please copy this step for you to make sure that you share these contents and you go through and you don't miss any of our session. So in order for you to understand this method, let us do examples. So this is example 3. Example 3. Find the resultant vector C of the vectors shown in the figure 4.1 below. This is vector A. This is vector B. So this is figure 4.1. First step, we said join the head of vector A to the tail of vector B. Join the head of vector A to the tail of vector B. So I'm not sure about the magnitude, but the issue is to concentrate on the concept. So this is vector A, and this is vector B. So this is figure 4.1. Okay, so we have already joined the two vectors, vector A, this is tail of vector A, this is head of vector A. This is tail of vector B, and this is head of vector B. So join the head of vector A to the tail of vector B. So this is head of vector A, tail of vector B. And the second step. At the first step. So the second step, after you've joined the head to tail, and the meson opposite south, then we can do something great, okay? So this is the second step. So the second step, we say that join the tail of vector AB with head of vector AB to obtain resultant. Obtain resultant vector. Okay. So this is vector A, and this is vector B. So this resultant vector will be resultant vector C. So its direction, so this is the tail of vector AB, and this is head of vector AB. So if we join the head to the tail, then we get the resultant vector. So the third step, we say that resultant vector C is A is vector A plus vector B. So vector C is equal to A plus what? A plus B. The resultant vector is equal to the summation of vector A and vector B. Okay? So that's the case and that's the concept. So that's all about example 3. Okay. Then we go for example 4. Find the resultant force. One of the vector quantity is force. Find the resultant force F. of vectors shown below. Shown below in the figure 4.2. This is force 1, and this is force 2. And this is force 4. And this is figure 'Okay, so we have those vector quantities which are forces, force 1, force 2, and force 3. So you have to find out the resultant force F of the vectors shown below in the figure. Because remember that force is a vector quantity which has both magnitude and the direction. So to solve this problem, you have to be careful and you have to follow the steps that I have told you. So solution. The first step, we say that join the head of F1. So you're using the head to tail method for force 1 to the other. Join the head of force 2 to the tail of force 1. Join the head of force 2 to the tail of force 1. Join the head of force 2 to the tail of force 1, and the head of force 1 to the tail of F3. So join the head of F2 to the tail of F1 and the head of F1 to the tail of F3. So this is the new figure. So this is F1. And then This is first two. Then, because the first step join the head of first two to the tail of first one. This is the head of first two to the tail of first one. This is the connection. This is the joint. This is the intersection point. Then, and what? And head of F1 to the tail of F3. Head of F1 to tail of F3. Here it is. So this is F3. So this is figure 4.22p. So then go for a second step. So the second step, so draw the resultant line in figure 4.2 above from the tail of F1, F2, F3, F2, F1, F2, F2, F1, F3, to the head of F2, F1, F3. F3 what? So this is the tail and this is the head. So this is the resultant force. F. Right? So you go for the third stage. The resultant force is given as this one plus this two plus 3. This is the resultant force. Okay, so that's the resultant force. What the advantage of head to tail method? The head to tail method has so many advantages, but the common one, it's the only method among the 3 methods which it can add more than 2 vector complements. The advantage of head to tail method over other methods is is used to add more than 2 vector. What the advantage of head-to-tail method over other methods? That's the question that we have in the response, because we've done example 3 and example 4, which actually we're training you and teaching you on how you can use the method of head-to-tail method, which actually is powerful method compared over other 2 methods. So the answer is the advantage of head-to-tail method over other methods of adding vectors is it's used to add more than 2 vector components. So more than 2 vector components. For example, in example 4, find the resultant force of vectors shown below in the figure 4.2a. So these are 1, 2, 3. These are 3 components of force. So this method also it can add 4 components of force, 5 components of force, 6 components of force, 7 components of force, 9 components of force, 8 components of force, 10 components of force, etc., etc., but just beyond of the level of the Form 3 student. So with the key point in your mind, you have to understand that this is powerful. Sometimes in mathematics, because I'm teaching also advanced mathematics, and the topic which you call the vector, and also I'm teaching advanced mathematics for advanced secondary students, and also I'm teaching vector calculus, and even in some other aspects of matrices and the vectors for undergraduate. We used to call this method as polygon method. Why it is called polygon method? Because the vector components can formulate either a triangular or triangle. It means that tri means 3 angles, or quadrilateral means 4, quad means 4, or penta, or it can formulate penta means pentagon shape, or geometrical shape, hexagon geometrical shape, heptagon geometrical shape, octagon geometrical shape, nonagon geometrical shape, and even decagon geometrical shape. So that's the advantage of method of head-to-tail method. So it means that this polygon method, it can add more than 2 vector components, while triangle method and parallelogram method, they cannot perform the same task. They just add only 2 components of vector, right? That's the point you have to know. So then I would like to end this session 4, because in the next sessions I will teach about the triangle method, which you have actual, I will be doing example 5, example 5, example 6, and even example 7, because it's one of the very important methods. So you have to make sure that you don't miss the session 5, when I will teach about triangle method. So before I end these sessions, I would like to leave the homework, which is this called the homework 4. Describe briefly the triangle methods of adding vectors in physics with aspects of physics. However, that there's a synonym between the aspects of physics and aspects of mathematics. So this is the end of session 4. I thank you very much. This is a national physics teacher. My name is Olenjolai Mokoteyelo Singo. Simply just call me Olenjolai. I invite you to join me in the next session, which will be session 5, which will be titled as triangle method. And then in that session, I will state about triangle law of adding vectors, and then we'll be doing some numerical problems. So you have to make sure that you don't miss, and should have your protector, should have your ruler, because we'll be drawing some triangles according to the instructions that will be given in the question. So I didn't want to start this method because it's one of the longer methods, very interesting. And it has some steps that's why that I need a fresh mind of my student. So again, before I end these sessions, I would like to remind you about our to all means the Tanzania online library, Tanzania online ordinary secondary school library, where you can access the physics book. Okay, this is the physics book. This is physics syllabus for ordinary secondary education for 1 through 4. You can order this book or its copy. And also you can order this book for your advancement in Physics Form 3 and Form 4. This is called the Physics Form 3 and 4 Students Book, and actually it has been prepared by Tanzania Institute of Education. So you can order this book, which is kind of interesting. You can order a package of these two books also, or the book and the pamphlet. And also you can order package of this one, it is ordinary level physics review. Okay, problems and solutions from 2003 to 2019. So you can order this book at very cheap. Just got the link below. Read the descriptions, click these buttons of show more. So you'll see the link that will take you into the video, special video for ordering, because we are real providing, equipping our students, and they have to pay also the shipping or the transport cost to transfer these contents from Dar es Salaam to any region of 31 regions of Tanzania. So you have to make sure that you have these books beside you, because these are the reference book I'm going to use in order to take your level of understanding in physics to the next level. So may God bless you and keep you and keep you safely until we meet in the next session. So thank you very much. Be blessed, and may God protect you until we meet in the next session. But before I end this session, I would like to invite you again, in case you feel from your heart you want to offer your free willing thanksgiving in order to support the running cost for this program. So more sessions of Physics Form 3 will be in air. You may send your free willing thanksgiving or through the telephone number 0759745331. So may God bless you abundantly and keep you until we meet in the next session. This is Olenjolai. Enjoy the beauty of physics.